What does failure mean anyway? Does it mean that something did not turn out the way you wanted it to, or the way you were hoping? The law of experience is always perfect. We outpicture our inner thoughts and beliefs perfectly. You must have left out a step or had an inner belief that told you you did not deserve or that you felt unworthy. It's the same way as when I work with my computer. If there's a mistake, it's always me. It is something I have not done to comply with the laws of the computer. The only means that there is something else for me to learn. The old saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again, is so true. It doesn't mean beat yourself up and try the same old way again. It means recognize your error and try another way until you learn to do it correctly. I think it's our natural birthright to go from success to success all our life. If we are not doing that, either we are not in tune with our innate capabilities, or we do not believe it can be true for us, or we do not recognize our successes. When we set standards that are much too high for where we are at this moment, standards that we cannot possibly achieve right now, then we will always fail. When a little child is learning to walk or talk, we encourage it and praise it for every tiny improvement the child makes. The child beams and eagerly tries to do better. Is this the way you encourage yourself when you're learning something new? Or do you make it harder to learn because you tell yourself that you're stupid or clumsy or a failure? Only by practicing over and over do we learn the new and make it a natural part of us. When you watch an accomplished professional in any field, you are looking at innumerable hours of practice. Don't do what I used to do. I would refuse to try anything new because I didn't know how to do it and I didn't want to appear foolish. Learning is making mistakes until our subconscious mind can put together the right pictures. It doesn't matter how long you've been thinking of yourself as a failure. You can begin to create a success pattern now. We need to plant the seeds of success. These seeds will grow into an abundant harvest. Here are some success affirmations you can use. Divine intelligence gives me all the ideas I can use. Everything I touch is a success. There is plenty for everyone, including me. There are plenty of customers for my services. I establish a new awareness of success. I move into the winning circle. I am a magnet for divine prosperity. I am blessed beyond my fondest dream. Riches of every sort are drawn to me. Golden opportunities are everywhere for me, and I accept them. Pick one of the affirmations and repeat it for several days. Then pick another and do the same. Allow these ideas to fill your consciousness. Don't worry about how to accomplish this. The opportunities will come your way. Trust the intelligence within you to lead you and guide you. You deserve to be a success in every area of your life. Wouldn't you love to have this affirmation be true for you? Perhaps you've been limiting yourself by thinking some of these thoughts. I can't stand this job. I hate my boss. I don't earn enough money. They don't appreciate me at work. I can't get along with the people at work. I don't know what I want to do. This is negative defensive thinking. What kind of good position do you think this will get you? It is approaching the subject from the wrong end. If you are in a job you don't care for, if you were to change your position, if you're having problems at work, or if you're out of work, the best way to handle it is this. Begin by blessing your current position with love. Realize that this is only a stepping stone on your pathway. You are where you are because of your own thinking patterns. If they are not treating you the way you would like to be treated, then there is a pattern in your consciousness that is attracting such behavior. So, in your mind, look around your current job or the job you had last and begin to bless everything with love. The building, the elevators or stairs, the rooms, the furniture and equipment, the people you work for and the people you work with, and each and every customer. Begin to affirm for yourself that I always work for the most wonderful bosses, that my boss always treats me with respect and courtesy. My boss is generous and easy to work for. These beliefs will carry forward with you all your life, and if you become a boss, you will be like that too. A young man was about to start a new job and was nervous, and I remember saying, "Why wouldn't you do well? Of course you'll be successful. Open your heart and let your talents flow out of you. Bless the establishment, the people you work with and the people you work for, and each and every customer with love, and all will go well." He did just that and had a great success. If you were to leave your job, and begin to affirm that you release your current job with love to the next person who will be delighted to have it. Know that there are people out there looking for exactly what you have to offer, and that you aren't being brought together on the checkerboard of life even now. A good affirmation for work. I am totally open and receptive to a wonderful new position, one that uses all my talents and abilities and allows me to express myself creatively in ways that are fulfilling to me. I work with and for people who I love and who love and respect me, in a wonderful location and earning good money. If there is someone at work who bothers you, again, bless them with love every time you think of them. In each and every one of us is every single quality. While we may not choose to do so, we are all capable of being a Hitler or a Mother Teresa. If this person is critical, begin to affirm that he or she is loving and full of praise. If they are grouchy, affirm that they are cheerful and fun to be around. If they are cruel, affirm that they are gentle and compassionate. If you see only the good qualities in this person, then that is what they will show you, no matter how they behave towards others. Example: his new job was to play a piano in a club where the boss was known for being unkind and mean. The employees used to call the boss Mr. Death behind his back. I was asked how to handle this situation, and I replied, inside each and every person are all the good qualities. No matter how other people react to him, it has nothing to do with you. Every time you think of this boss, bless him with love. Keep affirming for yourself, I always work for wonderful bosses. You took my advice and did exactly that. My client began to receive warm greetings, and the boss soon began to slip him bonuses and hired him to play in several other clubs. The other employees who were sending out negative thoughts to the boss were still being mistreated. If you like your job but feel you're not getting paid enough, then begin to bless your current salary with love. Expressing gratitude for what we already have enables it to grow. Affirm that you are now opening your consciousness to a greater prosperity, and that part of that prosperity is an increased salary. Affirm that you deserve a raise, not for negative reasons, but because you are a great asset to the company and they want to share their profits with you. Always do the best you can on the job, for then the universe will know that you are ready to be lifted out of where you are to the next and even better place. Your consciousness puts you where you are now. Your consciousness will either keep you there or lift you to a better position. It's up to you. All of life is relationships. We have relationships with everything. You are even having a relationship now with me and my concepts. The relationships you have with objects and food and weather and transportation and with people all reflect the relationship you have with yourself. The relationship you have with yourself is highly influenced by the relationships you had with the adults around you as a child. The way the adults reacted to us then is often the way we react towards ourselves now, both positively and negatively. Think for a moment of the words you use when you are scolding yourself. Aren't they the same words your parents used when they were scolding you? What words did they use when they praised you? I'm sure you use the same words to praise yourself. Perhaps they never praised you. So then you have no idea how to praise yourself and probably think you have nothing to praise. I'm not blaming our parents because we're all victims of victims and they couldn't teach you anything they did not know. Sandra Ray, the great rebirther who has done so much work with relationships, claims that every major relationship we have is a reflection of the relationship we had with one of our parents. She claims that until we clean up that first one, we will never be free to create exactly what we want in relationships. Relationships are mirrors of ourselves. What we attract always mirrors either the qualities we have or beliefs we have about relationships. This is true whether it is a boss, a co-worker, an employee, a friend, a lover, or a spouse, or a child. The things you don't like about these people are either what you yourself do, or would like to do, or what you believe. You could not attract them or have them in your life if the way they are didn't somehow complement your life. Exercise, us versus them. Look for a moment at someone in your life who bothers you, and describe 3 things about this person that you don't like, things that you want them to change. Now look deeply inside of you and ask yourself, where am I like that? And when do I do the same things? Close your eyes and give yourself the time to do this. Then ask yourself if you are willing to change. When you remove those patterns, habits, and beliefs from your thinking and behavior, either these people will change or leave your life. If you have a boss who is critical and impossible to please, look within. Either you do that on some level, or you have a belief that bosses are always critical and impossible to please. If you have an employee who won't obey or who doesn't follow through, look to see where you do that and clean it up. Firing someone is too easy. It doesn't clear your pattern. If there is a co-worker who won't cooperate and be part of the team, look to see how you could have attracted this. Where are you being non-cooperative? If you have a friend that is undependable and lets you down, turn within. Where in your life are you undependable, and when do you let others down? Is that your belief? If you have a lover who is cold and seems unloving, look to see if there is a belief within you that came from watching your parents in your childhood that says love is cold and undemonstrative. If you have a spouse who is nagging and non-supportive, again look to your childhood beliefs. Did you have a parent who is nagging and non-supportive? Are you that way? If you have a child who has habits that irritate you, I will guarantee that they are your habits. Children learn only by imitating the adults around them. Clear it within you, and you'll find that they change automatically. This is the only way to change others. Change ourselves first. Change your patterns, and you will find they are different too. Blame is useless. Blaming only gives away our power. Keep your power. Without power, we cannot make changes. Attracting love. Love comes when we least expect it, when we're not looking for it. Hunting for love never brings the right partner. It only creates longing and unhappiness. Love is never outside ourselves. Love is within us. Don't insist that love come immediately. Perhaps you're not ready for it, or you're not developed enough to attract the love you really want. Don't settle for anybody just to have someone. Set your standards. What kind of love do you want to attract? List the qualities you really want in the relationship. Develop those qualities in yourself, and you will attract a person who has them. You might examine what may be keeping love away. Could it be criticism, feelings of unworthiness, unreasonable standards, movie star images, fear of intimacy, a belief that you are unlovable? Be ready for love. Prepare the field and be ready to nourish love. Be loving and you will be lovable. Be receptive to love. If a child gave up at the first fall, it would never learn to walk. Like any other new thing you are learning, it takes practice to make it part of your life. First, there is a lot of concentration, and some of us choose to make this hard work. I don't like to think of it as hard work, but rather as something new to learn. The process of learning is always the same no matter what the subject, whether you're learning to drive a car, or type, or play tennis, or think in a positive manner. First, we fumble and bumble as our subconscious mind learns by trial. And yet, every time we come back to our practicing, it gets easier, and we do it a little better. Of course, you won't be perfect the first day. You will be doing whatever you can do. That's good enough for a start. Say to yourself often, I'm doing the best I can. Always support yourself. I well remember my first lecture. When I came down from the podium, I immediately said to myself, Louise, you were wonderful. You were absolutely fantastic for the first time. And when you've done it 5 or 6 times, you will be a pro. Then a couple of hours later, I said to myself, I think we could change a few things. Let's adjust this and let's adjust that. And I refused to criticize myself in any way. If I had come off the podium and started berating myself with, oh, you were so awful, you made this mistake and you made that mistake, then I would have dreaded my second lecture. As it was, the second one was better than the first, and by the 6th one, I was feeling like a pro. Just before I began writing You Can Heal Your Life, I bought myself a word processor computer. I called her my magic lady. It was something new I chose to learn. I discovered that learning the computer was very much like learning the spiritual laws. When I learned the computer's laws, then she did indeed perform magic for him. When I did not follow her laws to the letter, then either nothing would happen, or it would not work the way I wanted it to work. She would not give an inch. I could get as frustrated as I wanted, while she patiently waited for me to learn her laws, and then she gave me magic. It took practice. It's the same with the work you're learning to do now. You must learn the spiritual laws and follow them to the letter. You cannot bend them to your old way of thinking. You must learn and follow the new language, and when you do, then magic will be demonstrated in your life. The more you can reinforce your new learning, the better. I suggest expressing gratitude, writing affirmations, sitting in meditation, enjoying exercise, practicing good nutrition, doing affirmations aloud, singing affirmations, taking time for relaxation exercises, using visualization, mental imagery, and reading and studying. My own daily work goes something like this. The first thoughts on awakening before I open my eyes are to be thankful for everything I can think of. After a shower, I take a half hour or so to meditate and to do my affirmations and prayers. Then about 15 minutes of exercise, usually on the trampoline. Sometimes I join the 6 a.m. exercise program now on television. Now I'm ready for a breakfast consisting of fruit and fruit juices and herbal tea. I thank the Earth Mother for providing this food for me, and I thank the food for giving its life to nourish me. Before lunch, I like to go to a mirror and do some affirmations out loud. I may even sing them, something like this. Louise, you're wonderful and I love you. This is one of the best days of your life. Everything is working out for your highest good. Whatever you need to know is revealed to you. Whatever you need comes to you. All is well. Lunch is often a large salad, and again the food is blessed and thanked. In the late afternoon, I spend a few minutes on my slant board, allowing my body to experience some deep relaxation. I may listen to a tape at this time. Dinner will often be steamed vegetables and a grain. Sometimes I'll eat fish or chicken. My body works best on simple food. I like to share dinner with others, and we bless each other in addition to the food. Sometimes in the evening, I take a few moments to read and study. There is always more to learn. At this time, I may also write out my current affirmation 10 or 20 times. As I go to bed, I collect my thoughts. I go over the day and I bless each activity. I affirm that I will sleep deeply and soundly, awakening in the morning bright and refreshed and looking forward to the new day. Sounds overwhelming, doesn't it? To begin with, it seems like a lot to cope with, but after a short period of time, your new way of thinking will become as much a part of your life as bathing or brushing your teeth. You will do it automatically and easily. It would be wonderful for a family in the morning to do some of these things together. Meditating together in the morning to start the day or just before dinner brings peace and harmony to everyone. If you think you don't have the time, you might get up a half hour earlier. The benefits would be well worth the effort. How do you begin your day? What is the first thing you say in the morning when you wake up? We all have something we say almost every day. Is it positive or negative? I can remember when I used to awaken in the morning and say with a groan, "Oh God, another day." And that is exactly the sort of day I would have, one thing after another going wrong. Now when I awaken, and before I even open my eyes, I thank the bed for a good night's sleep. After all, we spent the whole night together in comfort. Then with my eyes still closed, I spend about 10 minutes just being thankful for all the good in my life. I program my day a bit, affirming that everything will go well and that I will enjoy it all. This is before I get up and do my morning meditation or prayers. Meditation. Give yourself a few minutes every day to sit in quiet meditation. If you're new at meditation, begin with 5 minutes. Sit quietly, observing your breathing, and allow the thoughts to pass gently through your mind. Give them no importance, and they will pass on. It is the nature of the mind to think, so don't try to get rid of thoughts. There are many classes and books you can explore to find new ways to meditate. No matter how or where you begin, you will eventually create the method that is best for you. I usually just sit quietly and ask, what is it I need to know? And I allow the answer to come if it wants to. If not, I know it will come later. There is no right or wrong way to meditate. Another form of meditation is to sit quietly and observe the breath as it goes in and out of your body. As you inhale, count 1. As you exhale, count 2. Continue counting until you get to 10, and then begin again at 1. If you find your mind doing the laundry list, begin again at 1. If you notice your counting takes you to 25 or so, just go back to 1. There was one client who seemed to me to be so bright and intelligent. Her mind was unusually clever and quick, and she had a great sense of humor. Yet she could not get her act together. She was overweight, broke, frustrated in her career, and without a romance for many years. She could accept all the metaphysical concepts quickly. They made a lot of sense to her, yet she was too clever, too quick. She found it difficult to slow herself down enough to practice over a meaningful period of time the ideas she could grasp so quickly on a moment-by-moment basis. Daily meditation helped her enormously. We began with only 5 minutes a day and very gradually worked up to 15 or 20 minutes. Exercise, daily affirmations. Take 1 or 2 affirmations and write them 10 or 20 times a day. Read them aloud with enthusiasm. Make a song out of your affirmations and sing them with joy. Let your mind go over these affirmations all day long. Consistently used affirmations become beliefs and will always produce results, sometimes in ways we cannot even imagine. One of my beliefs is that I always have good relationships with my landlord. My last landlord in New York City was a man known to be extremely difficult, and all the tenants complained. In the 5 years I lived there, I saw him only 3 times. When I decided to move to California, I wanted to sell all my possessions and start fresh and unencumbered with the past. And I began to do affirmations like these. All my possessions are sold easily and quickly. The move is very simple to do. Everything is working in divine order, and all is well. I did not think about how difficult it would be to sell things or where I would sleep the last few nights or any other negative ideas. I just kept doing my affirmations. Well, my clients and students quickly bought all the little stuff and most of the books. I informed my landlord in a letter that I would not be renewing my lease, and to my surprise, I received a phone call from him expressing his dismay at my leaving. He offered to write a letter of recommendation to my new landlord in California and asked if he could please buy my furniture, as he had decided to rent the apartment furnished. My higher consciousness had put the 2 beliefs together in a way I could not have conceived of. I always have good relationships with my landlord, and everything will sell easily and quickly. To the other tenants' amazement, I was able to sleep in my own bed in a comfortably furnished apartment until the last moment, and to be paid for it. I walked out with a few clothes, my juicer, my blender, my hairdryer, and my typewriter, plus a large check, and I leisurely took the train to Los Angeles. Do not believe in limitations. On arriving in California, it was necessary for me to buy a car. Not having owned a car before, or having made a major purchase before, I did not have any established credit. The banks would not give me credit. Being a woman and self-employed did not help my case in. I did not want to spend all my savings to buy a new car. Establishing credit became a catch-22. I refused to have any negative thoughts about the situation or about the banks. I rented a car and kept affirming that I have a beautiful new car and it comes to me easily. I also told everybody I met that I wanted to buy a new car and that I had not been able to establish credit so far. In about 3 months' time, I met a businesswoman who instantly liked me. When I told her my story about the car, she said, "Oh, well, I'll take care of that." And she called a friend of the bank who owed her a favor and told her that I was an old friend and gave me the highest references. And within 3 days, I drove off a car dealer's lot with a beautiful new car. I was not excited so much as I was in awe of the process. I believe the reason it took me 3 months to manifest the car was that I had never committed myself to monthly payments before, and the little kid in me was scared and needed time to get up the courage to make the step. Exercise. I love myself. I assume you are already saying, I approve of myself, almost nonstop. This is a powerful basis. Keep it up for at least a month. Now, take a pad of paper and at the top write, I love myself, therefore. And finish this sentence in as many ways as you can. Read it over daily and add to it as you think of new things. If you could work with a partner, do so. Hold hands and alternate saying, I love myself, therefore. The biggest benefit of doing this exercise is that you learn it is almost impossible to belittle yourself when you say you love yourself. Exercise. Claim the new. Visualize or imagine yourself having or doing or being what you are working toward. Fill in all the details. Feel, see, taste, touch, hear. Notice other people's reactions to your new state, and make it all okay with you no matter what their reactions are. Exercise. Expand your knowledge. Read everything you can to expand your awareness and understanding of how the mind works. There is so much knowledge out there for you. This is only one step on your pathway. Get other viewpoints. Hear other people say it in a different way. Study with a group for a while until you go beyond them. This is a life work. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you practice and apply, the better you get to feel, and the more wonderful your life will be. Doing this work makes you feel good. Begin to demonstrate results. Practicing as many of these methods as you can, you will begin to demonstrate results. You will see the little miracles occur in your life. The things you are ready to eliminate will go of their own accord. The things and events you want will pop up in your life seemingly out of the blue. You will get bonuses you never imagined. I was so surprised and delighted when after a few months of doing my mental work, I began to look younger. And today I look 10 years younger than I did 10 years ago. Love who and what you are and what you do. Laugh at yourself and at life, and nothing can touch you. It's all temporary anyway. Next lifetime you will do it differently. So why not do it differently right now? You could read one of Norman Cousins' books. He cured himself of a fatal disease with laughter. Unfortunately, he didn't change the mental patterns that created that disease, and so just created another one. However, he also laughed himself to health on that one too. There are so many ways you can approach your healing. Try them all, and use the ones that appeal to you. When you go to bed at night, close your eyes, and again, be thankful for all the good in your life. It will bring more good in. Please, do not listen to the news or watch it on the television the last thing at night. The news is a list of disasters. You don't want to take that into your dream state. Much clearing work is done in the dream state, and you can ask your dreams for help with anything you're working on. You will often find an answer by morning. Go to sleep peacefully. Trust the process of life to be on your side for your highest good and greatest joy. There is no need to make drudgery out of what you're doing. It can be fun, a game. It can be a joy. It's up to you. Even practicing forgiveness and releasing resentment can be fun, if you want to make it so. Make up a little song about that person or situation that is so hard to release. When you sing a ditty, it lightens up the whole procedure. When I work with clients, I bring laughter into the procedure as soon as I can. The quicker we can laugh about the whole thing, the easier it is to let go. If you saw your problems on a stage in a play by Neil Simon, you would laugh yourself right out of the chair. Tragedy and comedy are the same things. It just depends on your viewpoint. Oh, what fools we mortals be. Do whatever you can to make your transformational change a joy and a pleasure. Have fun. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. If you want this affirmation to be true for you, then you do not want to believe any of the following statements. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is filthy and dirty. I am poor but clean or good. I don't want to have money and be stuck up. I will never get a good job. I will never make any money. Money goes out faster than it comes in. I'm always in debt. Poor people can never get out from under. My parents were poor and I will be poor. Artists have to struggle. Only people who cheat have money. Everyone else comes first. Oh, I couldn't charge that much. I don't deserve. I'm not good enough to make money. Never tell anyone what I have in the bank. Don't lend money. A penny saved is a penny earned. Save for a rainy day. A depression could come at any moment. I resent others having money. Money only comes from hard work. How many of these beliefs belong to you? Do you really think that believing any of them will bring you prosperity? It is old, limited thinking. Perhaps it was what your family believed about money, because family beliefs stay with us unless we consciously release them. Wherever it came from, it must leave your consciousness if you want to prosper. To me, true prosperity begins with feeling good about yourself. It is also the freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. It is never an amount of money. It is a state of mind. Prosperity or lack of it is an outer expression of the ideas in your head. Deserving. If we do not accept the idea that we deserve to prosper, then even when abundance falls in our laps, we will refuse it somehow. Look at this example. A student in one of my classes was working to increase his prosperity. He came to class one night so excited, for he had just won $500. And he kept saying, "I don't believe it. I never win anything. I don't believe it." We knew it was a reflection of his changing consciousness. He still felt he really didn't deserve it. And next week he could not come to class as he had broken his leg, and the doctor bills came to $500. He had been frightened to move forward in a new prosperous direction and felt undeserving, so he punished himself in this way. Whatever we concentrate on increases, so don't concentrate on your bills. If you concentrate on lack and debt, then you will create more lack and debt. There is an inexhaustible supply in the universe. Be aware of it. Take time to count the stars on a clear evening, with the grains of sand in one handful, the leaves on one branch of a tree, raindrops on a window pane, the seeds in one tomato. Each seed is capable of producing a whole vine with unlimited tomatoes on it. Be grateful for what you do have, and you will find it increases. I like to bless with love all that is in my life now: my home, the heat, water, light, telephone, furniture, plumbing, appliances, clothing, my transportation, jobs, the money I do have, friends, my ability to see and feel and taste and touch and walk, and to enjoy this incredible climate. Belief in lack and limitation is the only thing that is limiting us. What belief is limiting you? Do you want to have money only to help others? Then you are saying that you are worthless. And be sure you're not rejecting prosperity now. If a friend invites you to lunch or dinner, accept with joy and pleasure. Don't feel that you're just trading with people. If you get a gift, accept it graciously. If you can't use the gift, pass it on to someone else. Keep the flow of things moving through you. Just smile and say thank you. This way, let the universe know you are ready to receive your good. Make room for the new. Clean out your refrigerator. Get rid of all those little bits of stuff wrapped in foil. Clean out your closets. Get rid of all the stuff you've not used in the last 6 months or so. If you haven't used it in a year, definitely get it out of your home. Sell it, trade it, give it away, or burn it. Cluttered closets mean a cluttered mind. As you clean the closet, say to yourself, I'm cleaning out the closets of my mind. The universe loves symbolic gestures. The first time I heard the concept, the abundance of the universe is available to everyone, I thought it was ridiculous. Look at all the poor people, I said to myself. Look at my own seemingly hopeless poverty. To hear your poverty was only a belief in your consciousness made me angry. It took me many years to realize and accept that I was the only person responsible for my lack of prosperity. It was my belief that I was unworthy and not deserving, and that money is difficult to come by, and that I do not have talents and abilities, but kept me stuck in a mental system of not having. Money is the easiest thing to demonstrate. How do you react to this statement? Do you believe it? Are you angry? Are you indifferent? Are you ready to throw this tape across the room? If you have any of these reactions, good. I've touched something deep inside of you, that very point of resistance to truth, and this is the area to work on. It is time to open yourself to the potential of receiving the flow of money and all good. Love your bills. It is essential that we stop worrying about money and stop resenting our bills. Many people treat bills as punishments to be avoided if possible. A bill is an acknowledgement of our ability to pay. The creditor assumes you are affluent enough and gives you the service or the product first. I bless with love each and every bill that comes into my home. I bless with love and stamp a small kiss on each and every check I write. If you pay with resentment, money has a hard time coming back to you. If you pay with love and joy, you open the free-flowing channel of abundance. Treat your money as a friend, not as something you wad up and crush into your pocket. Your security is not your job or your bank account or your investments, nor your spouse or parents. Your security is your ability to connect with the cosmic power that creates all things. I like to think that the power within me that breathes my body is the same power that provides all that I need, and just as easily and simple. The universe is lavish and abundant, and it is our birthright to be supplied with everything we need, unless we choose to believe to the contrary. I bless my telephone with love each time I use it, and I affirm often that it brings me only prosperity and expressions of love. I do the same with my mailbox, and each day it is filled to overflowing with money and love letters of all kinds from friends and clients and far-off readers of my book. The bills that come in I rejoice over, thanking the companies for trusting me to pay. I bless my doorbell and the front door, knowing that only good comes into my home. I expect my life to be good and joyous, and it is. These ideas are for everyone. He was a hooker and wanted to increase his business, so he came to me for a prosperity session. He felt he was good at his profession and wanted to make $100,000 a year. I gave him the same ideas I'm giving you, and soon he had money to put into Chinese porcelains. He spent so much time at home, he wanted to enjoy the beauty of his ever-increasing investments. Rejoice in others' good fortune. Don't delay your own prosperity by being resentful or jealous that someone else has more than you. Don't criticize the way they choose to spend their money. It's none of your business. Each person is under the law of their own consciousness. Just take care of your own thoughts. Bless another's good fortune and know that there is plenty for all. Are you a stingy tipper? Do you stiff washroom attendants with some self-righteous statement? Do you ignore the porters in your office or apartment building at Christmas time? Do you pinch pennies when you don't need to, buying day-old vegetables or bread? Do you do your shopping in a thrift shop? Or do you always order the cheapest thing on the menu? There is a law of demand and supply. Demand comes first. Money is a way of coming to where it's needed. The poorest family can almost always get together the money for a funeral. Visualization, the ocean of abundance. Your prosperity consciousness is not dependent on money. Your flow of money is dependent upon your prosperity consciousness. As you conceive of more, more will come into your life. I love the visualization of standing at the seashore, looking out at the vast ocean, and knowing that this ocean is the abundance that is available to me. Look down at your hands and see what sort of container you're holding. Is it a teaspoon? A thimble with a hole in it? A paper cup? A glass? A tumbler? A pitcher? A bucket? A wash tub? Or perhaps you have a pipeline connected to this ocean of abundance. Look around you and notice that no matter how many people are there, and no matter what kind of container they have, there is plenty for everyone. You cannot rob another, and they cannot rob you. And in no way can you drain the ocean dry. Your container is your consciousness, and it can always be exchanged for a larger container. Do this little exercise often to get the feeling of expansion and unlimited supply. Open your arms. I sit at least once a day with my arms stretched out to the side and say I am open and receptive to all of the good and abundance in the universe. It gives me a feeling of expansion. The universe can only distribute to me what I have in my consciousness, and I can always create more in my consciousness. It's like a cosmic bank. I make mental deposits by increasing my awareness of my own abilities to create. Meditation, treatments, and affirmations are mental deposits. Let's make a habit of making daily deposits. Just having more money is not enough. We want to enjoy the money. Do you allow yourself to have pleasure with money? If not, why not? A portion of everything you take in can go to pure pleasure. Did you have any fun with your money last week? Why not? What old belief is stopping you? Let it go. Money does not have to be a serious subject in your life. Put it into perspective. Money is a means of exchange, and that's all it is. What would you do and what would you have if you didn't need money? Jerry Gillis, who has written Money Love, one of the best books I know on money, suggests that we create a poverty penalty for ourselves. Every time we think or say a negative about our money situation, we fine ourselves a certain amount and put it in a container. At the end of the week, we have to spend this money on pleasure. We need to shake up our money concepts. I have found it easier to teach a seminar on sexuality than one on money. People get very angry when their money beliefs are being challenged. Even people who come to a seminar wanting desperately to create more money in their lives will go crazy when I try to change their limiting beliefs. I am willing to change. I am willing to release all negative beliefs. Sometimes we have to work with these two affirmations a lot in order to open the space to begin creating prosperity. Let's release the fixed income mentality. Do not limit the universe by insisting that you have only a certain salary or income. That salary or income is a channel. It is not your source. Your supply comes from one source, the very universe itself. There are an infinite number of channels. We must open ourselves to them. We must accept in consciousness that supply can come from anywhere and everywhere. Then when we walk down the street and find a penny or a dime, we say thank you to the source. It may be small, but new channels are beginning to open. I am open and receptive to new avenues of income. I now receive my good from expected and unexpected sources. Recognize prosperity. Begin to recognize prosperity everywhere and rejoice in it. Reverend Ike, the well-known evangelist in New York City, remembers as a poor preacher, he used to walk by good restaurants and homes and automobiles and clothing establishments and say out loud, "That's for me, that's for me." Allow fancy homes and banks and fine stores and showrooms of all sorts and yachts to give you pleasure. Recognize that all this is part of your abundance, and you are increasing your consciousness to partake of these things if you desire. If you see a well-dressed person, think, isn't it wonderful that they have so much abundance? There is plenty for all of us. We don't want to have someone else's good. We want to have our own good. And yet, we do not own anything. We only use possessions for a period of time until they pass on to someone else. Sometimes a possession may stay in a family for a few generations, but eventually it will pass on. There is a natural rhythm and flow of life. Things come and things go. And I believe that when something goes, it is only to make room for something new and better. Accept compliments. So many people want to be rich, and yet they won't accept a compliment. I have many a budding actor and actress who want to be a star, and yet they cringe at a compliment. Compliments are gifts of prosperity. Learn to accept them graciously. My mother taught me early to smile and say thank you when I received a compliment or a gift, and it's been an asset all my life. It's even better to accept the compliment and return it so that the giver feels as though they have received a gift. It is a way of keeping the flow of good going. Rejoice in the abundance of being able to awaken each morning and experience a new day. Be glad to be alive, to be healthy, to have friends, to be creative, to be a living example of the joy of living. Live to your highest ends. Enjoy your transformational process.